Hello, my name is Waqas, and in this video I'm going to show you how you can create this beautiful application using Android Studio, and it will be using Firebase Authentication to authenticate the users. There are many methods provided by Firebase Authentication, like you can see here. But in this particular application I'm going to show you how you can authenticate the user using email and password. So as you can see, there is no account created. So first let's create an account. I'm going to provide any email address, as it is not going to verify that, but the password must be at least 6 digits long, as it is mentioned by Firebase Authentication documentation. So let's sign up. And as you can see on the application, it says welcome, and says that this is your email address and a logout button. So we will be creating this whole interface, but on the left side, sorry, if you refresh, and you can see that the account is created. We can kill the application, and if we open the application again, you can see that it is currently logged in. But if we now we can log out, and then we can log in again using that same details we provided earlier. So you can see we are now logged in. So this is the whole functionality that we will be implementing in this tutorial. So let's start. So as you might already know, we need to create an Android Studio project for this. So let's begin with that. I'm choosing empty activity, and I'm naming this application as Firebase Auth demo, and click finish. Our project has been created, and now we need to add Firebase authentication into this app. So we will go to tools and click the Firebase. Now on the right hand side, as you can see, it is showing all the products of Firebase. We are only interested in Firebase authentication, so we will expand this and click email and password authentication. Here it is asking you to connect your app to Firebase. Let's click it. Now as you can see, it is asking me to create a new Firebase project or choose an existing one. But if you are not already logged into Android Studio, as I am already signed in, if you are not, then it will ask you to log in, and it will redirect you to Google Chrome or any other browser that you are using. So I am going to choose an existing Firebase project, which is tutorials, and click connect to Firebase. As you can see, our project is successfully connected to Firebase. It is shown over here, connected. Now the second step is we need to add Firebase authentication in our app. So let's click this button and click accept changes. Now the Firebase authentication dependencies are successfully added. As you can see, it actually added some dependencies over here in build.gradle file. These are the authentication dependencies, and if we go to change the view from project Android to project and go to app, we can see that it actually added a Google services.json file automatically. We can all do this manually, but Firebase plugin in Android Studio do it automatically. Now that our project is successfully connected to Firebase, we actually need to enable sign in with email and password from Firebase Console. So let's go to Chrome, and I actually already opened the Firebase Console, and I already opened the tutorials project, and here our application has been added. So let's go to authentication and click the sign in method. Here we just need to enable the email and password login and click save. Now that our project is successfully created, and we added Firebase to it, and we also added the Firebase authentication dependencies, and finally we also enabled the Firebase login option with email address and password from Firebase Console. Now is the time we actually start writing the code and building the user interface. But before going for that, I'm going to show you how this app is actually going to work. So there will be three activities: main activity, sign up activity, and login activity. As the name suggests, login activity is for asking the user for login. It will be responsible for getting the email address and password from user and then logging the user in. And the sign up activity will also be responsible for getting email address and password from user, but it will create a new account using email address and password to Firebase. And the main activity will be shown when user is logged in. So this is the main activity that we will be creating. This is how it will be looking at the end of this lecture. And this is just a dummy image. There will be, we are not going to store the image, but we maybe in future I will add the functionality, but for this playlist I am just showing this dummy image and this welcome text, and this is the address of the user that is logged in, and by using this logout button that user can log out. So this is the main activity. It will be first executed as soon as the app launches, and inside the main activity we will check if the user is logged in or not. If the user is logged in, then we will just show the details of the user, and if it is not logged in, then we will redirect it to login activity. This is the login activity. This is how it is going to show at the end. It is asking for email address and password and a login button. The forgot password option is not working right now, but we will add that maybe in future. And if a user have not already signed up, then in this sign up button, this is for creating new account. When user clicks this sign up button, it will be redirected to this activity. Here the user can provide the email address and password and create a new account. Now you are familiar with the complete structure of this app. Now is the time we start writing the code. So as I mentioned earlier, we need three activities. So let's first create those three activities. Just create a new activity and click empty activity. Provide the activity name. I am creating the login activity and click finish. After login activity, we need a sign up activity. So let's create it similar way and call it sign up activity. Now the three activities has been created and we need to start building the UI for that. So let's start that from main activity. Let's open its XML file, which is under res layout activity main.xml, and here we just need to remove all of this, as we are not going to work in constraint layout but a relative layout, which is more easy to understand for me at least. You can use layout with math parent, a shortcut to actually write this whole statement, and then again layout hide for match parent LHM and enter, and it will complete the statement. And now press Alt enter to import this scheme namespace actually. Now inside this relative layout we need to create an image view that will be showing the profile picture of the user. So let's create a wrap content, and we need to select the image from, we are actually showing the icon launcher, which is the default launcher of the app, this one, and we need to make it center horizontal. We use center horizontal true, and we need up some padding from top, so we add margin top and make it 100 dp. Now under this we need to create a text view. We set this to wrap content and wrap content as well, and the text should be your email address is, actually before this we need to show the welcome message, so create another text view here wrap content, and set the text to welcome. We need it to center horizontal, so we'll use the same attribute and make it true. We need it below that app icon, so we will use an attribute named layout below, I guess. Sorry, yes, layout below, and pass the ID. So we have not provided the ID to this image view. To refer to this image view, we need to provide it an ID. We call it image view profile pic, and here we can pass that ID. Now it is below that image view. We also need some padding from top, actually at the margin top, and make it 30 dp. We also need to give some styles to the text. As you can see, it is completely simple. So add a text, add a style, which is style, sorry, not this one, but text style, and make it bold. We also need to provide the solid black color, so text color should be Android color black. As you can see, it is a little bit more visible. Let's change its text size as well, so it should be text size, yes, and make it 20 sp. Remember, we need to provide the dimensions, or like the margin or padding into dp, but the text size into sp. So now it is looking good. Now let's make this text view below that welcome text. So for that we need to provide it an ID. So the ID should be text view underscore welcome, and here we will set text below, sorry, the layout below text view welcome. We also need some margin from top, make it 50 dp. Okay, and then that's it. Now we need another text view. We need to provide it an ID as well, so let's make it ID text view your email address. Create another text view, which is wrap content, and text should be not the text, as it will be changed dynamically. So let's put some dummy text with the tools attribute instead of Android, as and this tool attribute will make it appear just here in Android Studio, but when we run the app, this text will not be visible there. So let's tools text, sorry, let's import it first with alt enter, and text equal to Waqas@waqas.com. This is just a dummy text, it will not be shown when we run the app, and I'm going to show you that. And we need it to the right side of that email address text, so we will use an attribute to write off ID text view your email address. We also need it to like here, just to the right side of that text, we need it to below that welcome text, and add a padding of 50 dp, margin of 50 dp, as we did to this text one. So let's do that. Layout below text view welcome. Okay, now the margin top 50 dp, and we also need to bold it, so text style bold. Let's give it a color of black as well. Okay, now it's looking fine, I guess. Let's add a button for logout, which is button wrap content, and make it center horizontal, and make it below we again forgot to add ID to this text view, so add one text view email, and here we can say that layout below text view email. Again add margin from top, which is 50 dp, or we can just make it center in parent and true. Let's see how it works. Let's remove this. Yeah, it is looking good, so we will use this one statement instead of those two. So let's provide text to it, which is logout. So as you can see here, I written the code in capital and camel case, but here it is showing completely in capitals. So we need another attribute, which is text all caps, I guess. All caps, yes. Make it false so that it can appear as it is. It should be space between log and out. Yes. Now that structure is built, but we need to, let's actually make it a little bit to the right side. So let's add which one is this? Yes, this one. So margin left 16 dp. Okay, now it is looking good. So we need to, now the basic structure is built, we need to add some colors to it as the background color. Let me open that png file. This is the png file that we are referring to. So we need to add this background color, and we need to set this text button color as well, and we need to change the text color from whatever that is to white. Okay, so instead of just making the background color, changing the background color here with the background attribute, and let's put the color in, let's make a color attribute which is background color. As you can see, it is showing red as we have not created any background color inside this color file. Let me show you. This is the colors.xml file that will be containing all the colors of this application. As you can see, there is no color tag with the name of background color. Make one color with background color. Here you can add color background color. Now we need to provide the color code here, which I already copied, which is, sorry, we need to add hash over there, hash 021052. Now if we switch to activity main.xml, we can see that the background color has been applied. But instead of just doing it all over here in this way, this is actually working. But if we do it in this way, then we have to do it in all the other activities as well. Let's say I open the login activity, and as you can see, its background color is white. So instead of doing that to all activities, let's make it more efficient by changing the styles of this theme, style of this app. So go to styles.xml, and we need to override an attribute which is, I think, window background. Yes, Android window background. So here we can change the color and it will be reflected throughout the app. So we call color background color. Now if we go to main activity, it is applied over here, and if we go to login activity, it is showing over here too. Now that background color is set, we need to change the text color as well, and we are going to do that in similar way. So let's go to style.xml and override another attribute which is item text color, I think so, yes, Android text color, and provided a text color of white. We have not defined any text color with the name of white, so we are using a text color which is already defined in Android library. This is how you can do that. You need to start with the Android colon and then color and then the color name, which is white. Now this color, white color, is stored in an Android library, but this background color is stored in this colors.xml file. If we press the command and click on this button, is on this text, it will open that XML file that you can store and that you can see stored in somewhere here, SDK platforms, and the path is so long. But if we click on this one, this will refer to this color that we just created. In this way we can access the colors and some other attributes that are already defined in the Android SDK. Now let's go to activity main.xml. As you can see, the text color has been changed, but the text where we provided the color in this file that are not changed, so we need to remove them. So instead of text color, we just need to remove that, and it will be white again. Let's do that with this one as well. This one. Okay, now the text color is set. Now we need to change the background color of this button. So we will create another tag in colors.xml file and call it button color. Sorry, it should be color name button color, and provide the color code, which is FF3CC9. Now if you go to activity main.xml, nothing is changed as we have not provided the background color here. So let's make it background and provide the color as button color. As you can see, our activity main has been built, the user interface has been built. So let's start creating this one. Let's open the activity signup.xml and get rid of this constant layout. Start with relative layout, and again we can use the shortcuts for layout height match parent, layout width match parent, and import. As you can see, the very first thing is this image view, which is the profile image. So let's create an image view. Again we need to set it to the IC launcher, and let's provide the ID is image view profile. Sorry, not the profile, it is already used, so we will call it sign up, then profile, and we need to make it center horizontal. Sorry, center horizontal true, and again add the margin from top and set it to 100 dp. Now after that we need to create 3 edit text. So let's create one, which is edit text, and which should be wrap content. It should be wrap content, and instead of wrap content, let's make it match parent. Now we cannot see anything here, but we will make some style to it. Now add a hint, which is email, provide ID, which is edit text, sign up email, and then provide the type of input, which is input type email address. Sorry, email, yes, text email address. And now we need to create a background for this. So we will go to drawables and create a new drawable resource file. Create one and call it edit text background. And here we are not going for selector. Selectors are used when we need to change the interface of the thing that we are going to use it for. When user has clicked that thing, when user has not clicked that thing. So there are many cases that we can do with it, but we are not going for that. We just need to create a shape and provide the shape to as a rectangle. Sorry. We need to add some more attributes. First one is the solid. We need to provide the solid color as white, and we need to provide the corners and provide the radius. We actually need to curve the radius and curve the corners, so let's make it 20 dp. And now let's set this background file to this text view, edit text. So let's make it background Android drawable activity, sorry, edit text background. It is not looking cool yet, so let's add some padding to it. Paddings are like a space internal to that tag, and margins are external to that tag. So let's add some padding. Padding top 20 dp. That's too much. Let's make it 10, and make another one with top with bottom. Now I think it is looking fine, but we need it to move a little bit right. So let's add a padding left, I think 10 dp. Yes, padding left. Now it is moved toward the right. Now we need to make it below this image view, so we will use layout below and add id. That was image view signup profile. We need to add some margin from top, which is 50 dp, I think. Yes, that is good. Now we need to move it a little bit in center from both sides, so let's add margin left 16 dp, again margin right 16 dp. Now it is looking cool. Let's duplicate this one, provide it an id. We already provided that, and we need to change this id to from email to password. This is the sign up activity, so we need two more of them, and we need it below this agreed text. So we need to change this layout below value to this id, and we need to reduce margin from top, which was margin top 50 dp. We need to lower it to, let's say, 20, and we need the input type change to password, text password, so that it can make the text entered invisible in the form of some asterisk or dots. And we need the hint to change to password. Okay, we need to duplicate this one as well. Just select the text that you want to duplicate and press Command D. On Windows you can use Control D and change the ID to sign up password and repeat. Change its layout below value to this edit text ID and change the hint to repeat password. Run the app. How it is looking on a real device, not the real device or virtual device, but how it is looking when we run the app. Okay, so things are not looking good. The logout button is not at the right position, and we have some this app bar over here, and the notification bar color is not what we expected. As we have not changed it, we will do it in this activity. But as you can see, this is the main activity, but we are designing the sign up activity. Let's start the sign up activity instead of that main activity. In the Android manifest.xml, we can change this and provide this intent filters to the activity that we want to start as soon as the app launches. So we paste them in sign up activity, and let's run the app again. It is looking good, but we need to lower the opacity of these edit text. As you can see here, they are not that much opaque. They have some visibility, and we need to change them. And also we need to get rid of this app bar and change the navigation bar color. So let's do that first. To get rid of this app bar, we need to change the style of this application, and instead of inheriting it from theme app combat light dark action bar, we need to inherit it from no action bar. Color that is displayed on the notification bar is actually this color primary dark, and we need to change it to black. So we can call here Android color black, and if we run the app again, now it is looking good as we have removed that app bar, and we also fixed the notification bar color. Now let's add some opacity to this edit text. Open that XML file, background XML file that we just created. So here, instead of passing this completely opaque color, white color, we need to add a white color which is a little bit less opaque, so that we can see the background color which is dark blue to that through that edit text, like we can see over here. So go to that edit text background, and here, instead of this color, we need to provide a color which is less opaque. So actually the color code for completely white is 6 times F. Now this is the color code, but before this color code we can add the opacity. If we provide FF, it means it is completely opaque, and we can then lower the FF to any number from 0 to 9, and then A B C D E F. The more we go up, it will be more opaque. So I'm going to changing it to 5.5. Sorry, 5.5. So as you can see, it is a little bit opaque. And now if we go to Signup Activity, it is showing very nice. And let's run the app again. Now, do you think it is exactly like we expected? Let's compare it. No, it is not like that, as the text color or hint color over here is white, but here is black. So let's change the hint color. We can also change the hint color from by overriding some attributes in the style, so that we do not have to do that for each and every edit text that we are going to build. So let's go to style.xml file and create another item and provide the name hint text. Sorry, not this one. Text color hint, and here we need to provide white. So again we can use Android color white. Now if we go to activity signup, as we can see, this is not exactly like that, as this white is a little bit more bright, so we need to lower its color from completely white to a little less white. So I have an idea. Let's just create a color ID out of it. Just press Alt Enter, and then you can see that it is saying extract color resource. Press enter and provide the resource name. We are going to provide the name as faint white. So if we press the command and click on it, you can see that it is created over here. So let's use this. We just copy this color code, color name, and provide it to that text hint color. I'm sorry, not in this way, but color. And now if we go to edit text, sorry, not this one, but Signup Activity, as we can see, it is looking almost same like that screenshot here. The only thing remaining is that we forgot to add this button, and we also need to add these custom shapes and this round button. So let's add this text to first. This is a text view sign up. We need to make it below that last edit text. So layout below edit text, sign up, password repeat. Add some padding from top, margin top 30 dp. We can use that text size attribute, but we are going to use some other way, which is text appearance. And that is also going to change the size of sign and also the appearance of this text view. So here we can provide Android text appearance large. Now as you can see, it increase the size, and also I think change some font, but it is looking good. Now the last thing remaining is we need to add these things to it. So let's first create a background for this button. Let's go to resources, drawable, and here create a new drawable resource file and call it custom shape background. And here we are not going for selector again. Provide the shape, and shape should be a rectangle, and inside that shape we need to provide the solid color. And this is the same solid, and this is going to be the same color as the color of that background color of the button that we created in main activity. So Android color, that is stored in button color in colors.xml file, and we actually need to curve two edges, not all. So the top right one and the bottom right, we need to curve these two edges, but these two will remain the same. So let's add corners, bottom right radius. Okay, let's make it 20 dp, and then do that same with the top right radius. Yes, 20 dp. Now we need to use it as a background, so let's go to activity sign up, and we need to create a text view, and this text should be or. Provide the id text view sign up or, and then another text view, and text should be sign up. We need to change the text appearance to large text appearance as earlier. We need it to the right side of that or text. So to right of id text view sign up or, and we also need to provide id to it, id text view sign up. So it should not be sign up, but it should be sign in, as this is the sign up activity, so we need to refer to sign in activity. Now let's create and let's wrap them inside a relative layout. And provide that drawable file as background of this relative layout. Not this one, custom shape background, yes, this one. Now as you can see, it started to look like that one, but we need to adjust it a little bit. Instead of height set to wrap content, we need to change it to 50 dp, and we also need to make it center horizontal, center, vertical, and we also need to provide some padding to it. Margin left, margin left should be 16 dp, and we also need to do that same with it on this one. Center vertical true, and margin left should be 10 dp, and margin right should be 20 dp. So now it is looking exactly like that one. Now we need to put it over here, so we will make this whole relative layout below this sign up text. So let's first add id to it. id relative layout sign up sign in. It contains the sign in text, and it is inside the sign up activity XML file. So this is how I name the files, name the tags. Now let's put it below the text view. So layout below text view sign up. What is it asking? Now we need to change this id. It should not be text view sign up, but text view sign up sign in. As we change the text, we need to lower this below this. We have not provided id to this. Let's first provide id. Text view sign up. Now it is below that, and we need some margin from top. Again, make it 30 dp or 50. We need icon of Facebook and Twitter in white color, like here you can see, and we will create this round circle inside the XML file, and we will add that icon inside that circle. So for this icon, we can just visit the website flaticon.com and search for Facebook. We need this one, but it is in black color, so we will change that. Just download the SVG format, not the PNG, and click free download. It is going to download inside this Firebase Auth folder, and with the name of facebook.svg. Press enter. We also need one for Twitter, so let's search for Twitter. And we can go with this one. And again we need SVG, so click this one and hit free download, and we are going to save it in the same folder with twitter.svg format. Now here we need to import those two PNG SVG files, so we will go to drawable, right click, and from here we need to create new vector asset, and then select local file, and here just choose the file that we just created, which is facebook.svg. Open it, and now you can see that it will convert that SVG format into XML. Let's just go with 512 dp and click next, and it is named as I see facebook.xml. Click finish. Now do that same with Twitter one. Now we need to change the color of this icon from black to white. We can do that here. Fill color, it is black, we need to change it to white. Okay, and same with the Twitter. Now we need to enclose them inside a inside a circle like this. So we need to create a circle first. Circle, background, remove the selectors and create shape. And shape should be oval, and there should be nothing inside the solid tag, but inside the stroke we need to add some stroke. Stroke color should be white, and we need to provide width to that stroke. We can provide 2 dp. I think it will look fine. Now we have both the icons and the background. We need to link them and create one single file, and we need to put both of them at a single place. So let's go for Signup Activity, and inside right below to them we create an image view and provide the src source to that image, let's say Facebook one, and the background should be that circle. Okay, now the width and height should be 50 dp. Now we need to add some padding to it. Padding 8 dp. It is looking exactly like we saw in that png file. So let's put them here. Let's just first create another one, provide an id to it, id image view sign up Facebook. Do that same here, image view sign up Twitter, and change the background from the source from icon Facebook to IC Twitter. And now we need to put them here. So we will make them below this sign up text. And that just put both of them in a linear layout so that they can be vertically aligned, horizontally aligned. So linear layout, wrap content, and the orientation should be horizontal. Now we need to add margin right 50 dp. 50 will be too much. I think 30 will be okay. And now we need to place this whole linear layout below this sign up. So layout below id text view sign up, and we need to make them aligned from to the right side. So align parent right true. Okay, and we need to add margin 50 dp. Okay, this is looking exactly. We were supposed to add margin top, and then inside here we need to add margin right 50 dp. So it is looking exactly as we can see here in the sign up activity, that sample image. This is the one we created. So let's run this app. Okay, this is looking very elegant and nice. As we can see, that hint color has been fixed and this custom shape has been created. The round button are there. I hope you have got something out of this tutorial. It seems like there are a lot of things going on. Like this is a bunch of code over here, and we added some files over there too. But as soon as you start doing that more frequently, you will realize that there is nothing too much. Tutorial we will be building sign in activity which will be looking like this at the end of the tutorial. So we already created the activity, as you can see here, login activity, which has this activity login.xml file, and there is nothing inside. So instead of just start writing the whole code again and creating that same edit text again, we can just copy all the code from activity signup and paste it to activity login. Now here we just need to change the IDs, and some a little bit changes will be enough. So let's start. First thing we need to do is change this sign up that is almost everywhere to sign in. So we can do that with command or key, which is find and replace, and provide the sign up and change it to sign in. And here we need to replace this one, so click replace. We also need to replace this one, and let's go upward. Okay, I accidentally write this sign as sing up instead of sign up, and it actually found some, as we mistakenly written the sing up instead of sign up. So first fix them in sign up activity. Here we need to change this sing up to sign up. Okay, replace this one as well. What happened to this text view? Okay, remove this one. It is okay now. So here we need to change from sign up to sign in. So replace this one and this one and this one and this one. We need to move upward, change this one. Okay. Now all the IDs are replaced from sign up to sign in, and we need to change the text view as well. We need to change this text view from sign up to sign in. It should not be sign in, but it should be sign in, sign up. We shouldn't be replacing this one. Now there is no error, and we need to change it to from sign in to sign up, as we are in sign in activity, so we can refer to sign up activity. And this sign up text should be sign in or login. And we need to get rid of this repeat password. Just remove it, as we are using the relative layout, so everything is related to other items, and if we remove one, and it will create mess throughout the layout. So we need to refer it again to below this edit text. So here we need to pass ID of this edit text, and it is all fixed. And now we need yep, that's okay. So let's run the app, but before we need to change the intent filters from sign up activity to login activity. Let's run the app. Okay, now the sign in activity is there, and you can see we have successfully created this thing. It is asking for email and password, and login button is there, and the custom buttons are there too. This is the complete interface. Now the design phase is completed. We have successfully created 3 activities and built their user interface. As you can see here, this is the sign up activity with email, password and repeat password and text, and a button to perform the sign up, and a reference to sign in if user is not user already has an account, so he or she can click here and log in with using that credentials. And we have this activity main.xml that will be shown when user is logged in. It will be showing the user's detail, user email address over here, and there is another login activity where user can perform the login operation. So it is time to start writing the code, and first thing we need to do is just make these intent filters back to the main activity so that the main activity could be initiated as soon as the app launches. So inside that main activity, the only thing we need to do is we need to check if the user is logged in or not. We can do that by getting the instance of Firebase Auth. So first create an instance private Firebase Auth, and we can call it m Firebase Auth. Let's initialize this instance. M Firebase Auth is equal to Firebase Auth dot get instance. Now we got the instance of the Firebase Auth. After getting the instance of Firebase Auth, we need to check it if there is some user or not. So we do that inside onStart function, and here we need to get the user, which is we can do that by m Firebase Auth dot get current user. It will be returning an object of Firebase user class, so we need to store them in Firebase user class. Firebase user m Firebase user is equal to this one. Now if there is some user, that user's detail will be stored in this instance. If there is not, then we can actually check it that right here. So if m Firebase user is not equal to null, which means there is some user logged in, otherwise no one logged in. So if there is no user logged in, we need to start the login activity and kill this main activity. So we can do that with start activity function, and here we need to provide intent. So we create a new anonymous intent and pass two attributes. First one is this, which is the current activity, and the second is the target activity, which is login activity dot class. Now that login activity is created, we need to finish this one so that user cannot come back by just pressing the back button. So now let's run the app. So as you can see, we are starting the main activity, but when the onStart function is started and it checked this condition and it found that there is no user logged in, so it started the login activity that we can see here. So in this way we can check if user is there or not, user is logged in or not. So in the next activity we will be implementing the sign in functionality actually. So in the previous tutorial we actually fetched the current user and checked if there is some user logged in or not. So if this instance is null, that means there is no user logged in. If not null, then it means there is someone logged in. So if it is not, there is no one logged in, we need to start the login activity. So inside that login activity, we are not actually creating the actually implementing the login activity here, as we cannot log in before actually signing up. We first need to provide functionality to this button so that user can jump to sign up page, and there we will get the email address and password and then provide and then do the sign up. So let's go to this relative layout and provide it an ID. It already got an ID, which is RL sign in. So let's go to login activity, which is project app com, and here login activity. Inside that login activity we need to create a relative layout instance, m relative layout sign up. We need to initialize it inside on create, and RL sign up is equal to find view by ID. You can use the shortcut FB, press enter, r.id and the ID we just copied. And as soon as this sign up this complete relative layout is clicked, we need to jump to sign up activity. So we can use that use the onClick listener mrl signup.set onClick listener new onClick listener, and inside this onClick listener we need to start that activity. So we will use again the start activity new intent from this login activity dot this to where we want to go, the sign up activity. Now the user can go to sign up activity. So let's fetch the value from XML to Java. So first create 3 instance of edText, private edText and edText email and edText password and edText repeat password. We also need a reference for the button, so private button, that was text view I think. Yep, this is text view, not the button, so change it to text view and text view sign up. Let's initialize them, and et email is equal to or.id.et sign up email. Let's do this for all. Now that we have initialized these attributes in these instances, now is the time we get the values from them and perform the operation. So we need to store the values. So first create a string, email is equal to edText email dot get text dot to string password Now we have got the string values of these edText. The very first thing we need to check is if these all are not empty. So as soon as the button is clicked, we need to check if these are all empty or not. So let's create this. Let's first set the onClick listener to this text view. Now here we need actually just fetch these values from here. And first check if all are not null. So if email dot is empty, we are actually performing the check on if not empty, and again password dot is empty, not empty, and repeat password dot is empty. Now this else will be executed only if any one of these 3 edText have some empty values. So please enter no field can be left blank. So we need also a toast message, and we can say please fill the values. And inside this if, now we have got the values, we need to check if if the password and repeat password text is same or not. So if password equals repeat password, now this else statement will be executed when the text inside password and repeat password is not same. So we need to ask the user to provide the same password. So we can toast a message password not matched, and if it is matched then we can create it. We can just write password matched. Now after the password is matched, we need to check if the password is more than 6 character long or not, as it is mentioned in the Firebase Authentication documentation that the password for the user should be more than 6 character long. So we need to check if password dot length is greater than 6, else password length short. So we need another toast message, password must be 6 character long, and if it is greater than 6, then here we need to perform the sign up. So the very first thing is we need a Firebase Auth instance. So let's create one, private Firebase Auth m Firebase Auth, initialize it, and Firebase Auth is equal to Firebase Auth dot get instance. Now here we need to call a function Firebase Auth dot create user with email and password, and provide the email as a first argument and password as a second argument. So email password, sorry, not like this. And at the end of this we need to check if we need a callback function, so that we can actually update the user if the user logged in or not. So we can add here add on click listener, sorry, not add on click listener but add on complete listener, and provide a new interface, not this one but on complete listener, and here we can override the on complete. Now inside the on complete we need to check if this task was successful or not. So if task dot is successful, it means that user created, and once the user is created we need to start the main activity. So start activity, new intent from signup activity dot this to main activity dot class, and now we need to finish this one. But if the task was not successful, then we can just inform the user that there was some mistakes, there was something that went wrong. So something went wrong, please try again. Now we also need to check if we also need to add another listener, which is dot add on failure listener. Now this will be executed when there was some failure, so we need to inform the user with message, just say error and then add the error to it, get localized message. And we need to add another callback function, which is add on cancelled listener. And we need again a toast message, cancelled, try again. Now we have successfully implemented the sign up functionalities, so let's just run the app and see if we can create an account. So it is on the sign in activity. We need to go to sign up activity, so we click that, and here we need to provide the email. So let's start. Okay, we need to change this text to white as well. So and the password 123456 123456. Let's sign up. Password must be 6 character long. It is 6 character long, but why it is asking again? That's because we need to make it greater than or equal to 6. Okay, we will do that later, but let's add another digit, 7 and sign up. Okay, I already created this email address, so as you can see we added this on failure listener, which is error, and that get localized message is actually informing us that what went wrong. So just change the email address from here to this one and perform the sign up. Okay, now you can see that we have successfully logged in the user. We have created the account and logged the user in and started the main activity. If we go to Firebase Console, let me show you that. And inside the Firebase Console, if we go to authentication, we can see that both the account has been created, one with Waqas at the waqas1.com that we just created, and another one which I created while testing the app. So this is how you can implement the authentication sign up creation of an account. Today we will be using the login function to log into the app using the account we created. So let's start. So let's go to the login activity and let's see what we have got here. We need to get these two email address and password values, and then add the click listener to this login button. We also need to provide this sign up. I think we already added that, just leave that. We're just going for these three things. Okay, so let's start. Inside the login activity, we need to edit text, MET email for email, and MET password for password. And we need an instance of text view that is acting as button, and text view log. Import that. Let's initialize them here. So MET email is equal to find view by id or dot id dot edit text sign in email. Duplicate it, and email password that After initializing, we need to add an on-click listener to this text view. So let's create an login.set on-click listener, new on-click listener. Inside this on-click listener, we need to get email and password from the user. So string and edit text, email is equal to m edit text email dot get. Now we need to check if both are not null. So if email dot is empty and pass dot is empty. If these are empty, if these are not empty, then we can go ahead. If these are empty, then we need to tell the user that please enter values. If these are not null, then we need to perform the login. So let's create a login Firebase Auth instance. Initialize this instance. And here we need to call the function and Firebase Auth dot sign in with email and password, and provide the email as first argument and password as second argument. So email, password, and the last thing we need to do is add some callback function. So we need to add on complete callback function, and inside this on complete callback function we need to check if the task was successful or not. If successful, then it means that the user is successfully logged in and there was nothing wrong with the process. So we need to start the main activity. So just add a comment, sign in complete, start activity, new intent from login activity dot this to main activity dot class, and just finish this activity. And if it was not successful, then we need to inform the user with a post message. Now add another callback function here, dot add on failure listener, new on failure listener, and here we need to create a toast message and provide the error with get localized message, and this toast message will be shown when something went wrong with the localized message that we received from Firebase. And last, we need to add on cancelled listener. Here we just need to add cancelled. That's it. So let's run the app. So we already have an account with Waqas at waqas1.com, and the password will be 12345667. So let's log in and see what. Okay, it is looking very cool and satisfying. It logged the user in, but the last thing remaining is we need to put the get the email address and put it here. Hello and welcome back, and this is the last tutorial of this series, as my MacBook is already dying. As you can see, it got only 7% left, but we also need to add the functionality that will fetch the user email of that current user and show it in the main activity. Previously we added this login code that will be responsible for getting the email address and password and log in the user, and also show the message if something went wrong. So now inside the main activity we already got the current user. We just need to set this current user to that text view over here, and also need to add functionality to this logout button. So let's start. First thing we need to get the first thing we need to do is create the instance of text views, m text view email and m text view log out. Initialize these instances. Text view email, and the second one is mtb logout is equal to let me check if we already provided. So there is no ID and it is also a button, not a text view. So let's fix it. We provide the ID button logout. There is another thing we can do. Instead of just providing the onClicks listener and getting the instance, we can just provide here onClick attribute and then pass the function that will be triggered when this button is clicked. So we can say that logout, and we need to create this exact same name function inside the activity main activity.java file, but we can also do that by pressing the alt enter, and it will suggest that create layout view in main activity. So let's enter, and it created a function logout with a parameter view, and this is the view that is clicked, and we need to this function will be triggered when that logout button is clicked. So when it is clicked, we need to log the user out. So let's remove this. We also don't need that logout. Here we can just call that m Firebase Auth and a simple function which is sign out. Now it will completely sign out the user. We do not need to worry about that. But the last thing remaining is we need to update the email address of the user. So we already got the, what is it saying? Okay, we make the L, and inside we need to set the text and text view email dot set text. The text should be the email address that we will be getting from this current user instance dot get email. That's it. So let's run the app. So there is already user logged in. Remember, if there is someone logged in and we restart the app, the user is not going to log out automatically. We need to log out, or we need to clear the app data in order to log out. So if this code works fine, then we will be able to see the email address of the user right here. Okay, now you can see that the email address has been shown there. We forgot to add padding to this one, margin to this one. We can add that, and our tutorial is pretty much complete. If you guys learned something out of it, then please let me know. If there is some confusion, you can always comment below, and if you want me to make more tutorials like this, then please comment below, like this video and subscribe to my channel. Thank you so much.